Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sam Kwok, one of the Kwok brothers, real estate investor and entrepreneur. And in this video, we're gonna go and talk about how to start fixing and flipping homes with no money or credit. All right, so fixing and flipping homes have been made popular thanks to TV shows from HGTV, TLC, you name it. And chances are you're inspired to start fixing and flipping homes for profit. But you may realize that fixing and flipping homes do require having some sort of cash or credit to get started, and you might be feeling stuck. Well, the good news is my brother and I first got started in real estate 6 years ago, fixing and flipping homes, even though we were still in college and we didn't have cash, we didn't have a good credit, and we didn't have a dad who could give us a small loan of $1 million. So in this video, we're gonna cover how we got started with no money or credit and show you the business model behind fix and flipping and how to fund a project without using your own money or credit. Now, the best way to get started in fixing and flipping homes is to click like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it does help us a lot with our channel algorithm. But seriously, guys, if you can help us blow up this video, we can make more videos about fixing and flipping homes and real estate in general. All right, let's go and talk about the business model of fixing and flipping homes. Now, unfortunately, TV shows from HGTV and TLC has not been very helpful with this, and it's not quite how it goes like the TV shows. So the first thing that you need to understand when it comes to starting a successful fix and flip business is the expertise in your market or the neighborhood that you want to start fixing and flipping. Now, there are neighborhoods that are great for fixing and flipping homes, and there are neighbors that are terrible and should stay away from for fixing and flipping homes. Now, generally speaking, and this is a general rule, and there are exceptions to this, generally what you want to look for are ugly homes in the best looking areas. We're talking about homes that need updates, that need new appliances, and you need floors, new countertops, new painting, and you want to look for these in desirable neighborhoods, but these homes just need that extra upgrade to be able to fit in. One of the very important things you have to determine is what are the going prices for a set of homes in this given area. So let's say, for example, we have a 3-bedroom and a 2-bath house, and let's say that it's 1,200 square feet, okay? And the going price for these homes in that area is $200,000. And this type of price is more common here in Midwest. I know some of you guys living in LA or New York think this is crazy. Prices are higher in LA and New York if you live in those areas. But let's say in this given Midwest town, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet, $200,000. Now, this $200,000 figure, us real estate investors, we call that the ARV, which stands for after repair value. So $200,000 is a marketable price for updated 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's up to date, it's trendy, it's got all the upgrades and new construction. That's what it's going for. So that's what we determine as after repair value. Now, to determine ARV, the after repair value, you have to be really good at comparing apples to apples. I know a lot of people who try to get the comps, the ARV, they compare apples to oranges and they don't have the most accurate comps. Generally, you want to get comps that have similar bedroom sizes, similar square footages, similar features, swimming pool or no swimming pool, fences, no fences, does it have a basement, no basement. So you want to try to compare as close to possible in a given area and make sure you have the right comparison for home to home. And what you want to do is you want to look at what these homes have been sold for in the last 90 to 180 days. So anywhere between 3 to 6 months, take a look at what these homes were sold for. That should give you a general trend of whether the price is going up or the price is going down, what are the approximate ranges. And this is very, very important as the ARV, the final figure, is going to determine pretty much your profit, your construction costs, the whole 9 yards. So if you don't master this concept here, you're gonna struggle a lot when it comes to running a successful fix and flip business. Now, like the popular saying goes, you make money not when you sell, but when you buy the property. So what I'm about to show you guys right now is reverse engineering technique to determine what price you need to buy this home at to be profitable and to have a successful fix and flip business. So we're gonna start at that ARV figure of $200,000, okay? And this is our A RV after repair value, right? And we have to start breaking down what sort of fees, cost, and profit that is required to make the money. Now, the very first thing that I like to determine is the construction cost. Now, the construction cost is very unique in that sense that this is where it can get competitive. If you know of a secret supplier for, you know where to get the best wood for a very cheap price, and you know how to get the best drywall, or you know a contractor that does a really good job for a very cheap price, you know that you have the upper hand versus some of the other fix and flippers that don't have this special knowledge. So having some expertise in construction, knowing what materials to use and how to get it at the best price is going to give you a little bit more profit margin, and it quickly adds up to the success of your fix and flip business. So your construction cost, let's say, is $50,000 for this given property. It needs lots of updates, right? It needs new floor, new painting, new drywall, new countertops, new appliances, you name it. Obviously, you're gonna set a budget to match what the other homes that are being sold in your area. So in this area, let's say you have laminate countertops and laminate floor, and that's the best condition. Well, you don't want to go and be the first one to put it, granite and the countertop, right? You don't want to do that. So you want to try to match with what's the highest going price in your market. You don't want to be the most luxury, okay? You don't want that. Sort of line yourself up with the trends, okay? So the construction costs $50,000. We have something called holding cost. Now, this holding cost is something that a lot of new beginners don't necessarily understand or factor in. Holding cost is simply the cost of simply owning the property. So we have insurance that we have to pay for, property taxes, utilities. Although the home is vacant, there's still gonna be a little bit of utility costs that you have to pay. Now, this may not be a big deal if you're looking to fix and flip homes within a month or 2 months or even 3 months, but it can quickly add up after 6 or 8 to 12 months of a fix and flip project, where in those types of projects, you're basically tearing the whole thing down and rebuilding, that type of project. You want to make sure that you account for the holding costs, and each month, right, is going to bring up more costs. So this is why you want to also understand the time frame of how fast you can complete the construction and how fast can you sell, and all that can help you save money on the holding cost. So let's say, I'm gonna throw a number out there and say our holding cost is, $2,000. We're just gonna hold it for a couple of months and that's it, okay? The next thing is selling and buying cost, okay? And buying cost. Now, selling cost is real estate commission when you sell the property. So after you're done fixing and ready to sell it, you have to sell it with a real estate agent. I generally don't recommend trying to sell the property on your own because it quickly becomes a nightmare. You want to entrust the network and the expertise of a real estate agent. And of course, working with the real estate agent means you have to pay commission. And also there's title fees, which goes to the title company for documents. You also have legal fees, hiring an attorney to help you close the deal. So let's say we have, we combined all that and let's call it $10,000, okay? And this is actually rather high numbers, so I'm overestimating. It's good to be overestimating and stay conservative, because if you try to lie to yourself and saying, yeah, it's not gonna be 10 grand, it's gonna be like 5, okay? And when reality hits and you realize, holy smokes, I'm actually in the negative, not a good thing. So it's better to overestimate and make more money that way than underestimate and realize, like I'm losing money, right? So the next thing is, well, you gotta pay yourself, right? You gotta have profit. And this is more of my personal rule of thumb. Even Daniel may disagree with me and some of you may disagree, but my rule of thumb is my profit should be anywhere between 15 to 20% of the flip. Now, some of you may say, well, that's a little bit too much. I like to go with the 10% of the ARV. Just personal preference, right? And it may also depending on how long the construction is, because I don't want a 12-month construction to only leave me with $30,000 profit. It's not a good business model. So I'm gonna go and say, I wanna make at least $40,000 in this deal, okay? If I don't make $40,000, not worth it. I'm gonna walk away, okay? You have to have some sort of a measuring stick as to when you do a deal and when not to do a deal. So we're gonna tally that all up, and I'm just giving you more of a general overview of the business model behind a fix and flip business. We're gonna add this up so we see a grand total of, we got 50, 90, $102,000. Okay, so the total $200,000 minus 102,000, okay, equals $98,000. This represents the maximum purchase price. We have to buy it at maximum of $98,000 to profit $40,000 to hold all of our construction costs and holding costs and selling costs and etc. Okay, now if we can get a better deal, this is another area where you can make money in a fix and flip business. If we can get, let's say, a purchase price of $90,000, well, guess what? Now we made an extra of $8,000 just by the fact that we bought it at a lower price. So this is a maximum offer. If for some reason the purchase price goes beyond $98,000, it's at $105,000. You have to make a decision. Now you're looking to sacrifice your profit. Do you go and continue or do you not? And in my opinion, stick to your guns, okay? Don't do this deal unless it's below $98,000, okay? So you have to master this art of analysis, staying true to the rule. And I know some of you guys may get emotional and say, oh my gosh, this is my first flip. I wanna do it. Don't do it. Stay true to your guns. Stick to your policy, stick to your business plan. Everything will be okay. So a couple things you have to master, and I'm sharing this before we get to the no money or no credit part because this is super duper important and you'll realize why in just 1 second. You'll realize that if you don't know this, okay, you don't have a business. You have to have a business to attract money. And I'll share that in just 1 second. So the first thing you have to understand is market knowledge, your neighborhood or the area that you want to fix and flip properties. You have to have the insights as to which neighborhoods are the best and which neighborhoods to stay away from. You have to have experience in construction, expertise in construction. Where do you get the cheap materials to get the best deal? Do you have a special relationship with the contractor? All these are very, very important. Also having a relationship with the real estate agent who might feed you with some of the good deals or the news or information or the word on the street. All this is super duper important to having a successful and vital fix and flip business. Now, let's move on to the no money and the no credit part. So back when my brother and I got started, we got really good at analyzing and doing owner financing, which we'll talk about in a different day. And we got really good at different strategies, but we could not get over the fact that we didn't have the money or credit. And I felt devastated and I felt frustrated with the fact that I wasn't able to go and fix and flip homes or buy rental properties. So one day I was watching the TV show Shark Tank, and if you don't know what that is, please go watch it because it's a great show. I love it. It's very entrepreneurial. But I saw a gentleman walk into the show as a contestant, and he walks in and says, hey, sharks, I've never made money in this business, but I know everything about this business. I know, I've done the research and I have experience, I have expertise. And of course, at first I was like, this guy's not gonna get the deal. I don't think he's gonna cut it because he's never made money in this business. And what ended up happening to my own detriment and to my own mistake of judgment, this gentleman actually ends up answering all the shark's question. He sounded really nice. He was sharp as a tack. He was, articulating his stance and his reasoning and his logic very clearly. And I'm like, man, this guy just deserves the investment from the sharks. And lo and behold, he gets an investment of $100,000 from Mr. Kevin O'Leary. And my jaw literally dropped to the floor. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy never made money in this business, yet he got the backing of Mr. Wonderful. And a light bulb went in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. If this guy who never made money in this business could walk into Shark Tank, walk out with $100,000 because of his expertise and knowledge in this business, can I do the same thing with fixing and flipping homes? And I had an epiphany moment, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go start working to get relationships with people that do have the money. So what I started doing is a little bit of social media marketing. I started taking pictures in front of homes. I would post stuff like, hey, I'm looking at this home right now and analyzing it to see if it's good, if it's profitable as a fix and flip, right? I would do this a couple times a week. And soon enough, people started taking notice, like, what's Sam doing over there, right? He's still in college, right? And I started getting attention from different people, started going to networking events and getting relationships with people who were wealthy, CEOs, business owners, doctors, lawyers. and I mentioned this to them. I said, hey, I'm a fix and flipper, I'm a real estate investor, and I help people make money, right? And that's what started everything. I'm gonna protect this individual, and I'm just gonna call him Bob, okay? And this is just a hypothetical name, okay? Make sure I don't have a permanent marker here, because sometimes, all right, so I don't have a permanent marker, okay? So let's call this individual Bob. He's got a real name, but I just want to protect his privacy. So Bob here, okay, he had approximately $400,000 in his 401k. Here's a little secret that I want to let you guys know. You guys can invest in real estate and fund real estate projects using 401ks and IRAs. Now, this is a little bit of secret that not a lot of people know because they're simply not told about this. There is a way to invest in real estate and fund fix and flip projects using 401ks and IRAs. Now, not all 401ks are created equal. Okay, not all IRAs are created equal. There are only specific types of IRAs and 401ks that will allow this, and that is called self-directed retirement plans. So there's a concept called self-directed retirement plans. I hope you guys can see that. There we go, boom. Self-directed retirement plans give you maximum control and the freedom to invest in whatever you like as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, a standard set by the IRS. So what you can do is, what Bob did was to roll over his money, some of his money, $400,000, into a self-directed retirement plan. Now, notice I didn't say take the money out of the 401k because this could mean penalties and taxes that Bob may owe for taking the money out of his 401k. Now, rolling it over is basically taking money from one retirement plan to another retirement plan. So there are no taxes or fees that Bob had to pay. So we rolled over a portion, a $200,000 portion, into the self-directed retirement plan. Now, we consulted with an attorney, and I highly recommend that you do as well, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, so this is not a legal advice whatsoever, but we consulted an attorney, and the best route that we went with was to create what's called an LLC inside of Bob's self-directed retirement plan. So the LLC is now controlled by the self-directed retirement plan. And I, the Kwok brothers, okay, Daniel and I, okay, control 50% of the LLC, and Bob controls the other 50% of the LLC. So think about Shark Tank, right? Kevin O'Leary takes 20% equity stake in a company. Mark Cuban takes 10% equity stake in the company. Same idea. The Kwok brothers, us, we take 50% stake. Bob takes 50% stake. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why would Bob ever do this? Like, wouldn't Bob just go and do it on his own? True, but for Bob, time was more precious for him. He didn't want to go and learn this business on his own. He just wanted to trust others who who's got the knowledge, who's got the expertise, who already spent all the time doing the research. So what's going on here is there's a little bit of scale that's going on, right? The Kwok brothers, us, we provide the knowledge, we have the contractors, we have the time, and we got the effort. Bob is basically like an angel investor who comes in and invests $200,000 in this LLC. So Bob and we, the Kwok brothers, are 50-50 partners. Pretty cool, right? So that means if we do any sort of flip through the LLC, our newfound business here, 50% of the profit goes to us and the 50% goes to Bob. Now, notice that through the story of Shark Tank story, and I showed you the business model, what I'm stressing here, guys, is you have to be knowledgeable in the business model of fix and flip. I encourage you guys to read every single book, take every little courses out there, listen to podcasts, read up on the popular fix and flip trends, get educated and get all the information possible about fix and flip business. And I want you guys to be obsessed about this business, because if you're not, it's gonna be very hard for you guys to be successful and scale up and make profit. And notice that Bob was able to fund a large amount of money into the LLC. So luckily we didn't have to use credit, but if we did have to use credit, we would be able to use a portion of Bob's $200,000 contribution as a down payment for a larger project. But in this case, we just used the $200,000 to cover the cost of construction, the cost of buying the property, the holding costs, the whole 9 yards with Bob's fund. And Bob could trust us not only because we have the knowledge, but we demonstrated integrity, the honesty, right, the character. And I have to stress this fact as well. Real estate is people business. I know a lot of people think, well, real estate is about houses and buildings and making sure the construction looks great, right? Well, sort of, but a lot of it has to do with trust and the people and building that relationship, because after all, people make businesses successful and make businesses profitable. So be the person that you want to invest with. If you were Bob, would you invest in you, right? Do you trust yourself with the knowledge and expertise that you have to be able to be profitable? So bottom line, again, I can't stress this enough because knowledge and education is super duper critical. You have to know the business model to be able to attract people like Bob. Don't just go out there and look for Bob and say, hey, you know, I watched the Kwok Brothers video, I'm already good, right? No. I want you to take all the courses out there. It doesn't have to be our course, although we offer one. It doesn't have to be ours. Go read books, go watch videos, and do your research, do your due diligence, because the last thing you want is lose Bob's money and lose Bob's trust more importantly. So guys, I hope that this video gave you lots of tips and insight and inspiration for you to start doing the research. Okay, this video wasn't meant to be an end-all be-all video. This was to help you start in the right direction. I hope I gave you some inspiration to do so. If you felt this video was valuable and educational in any way, go and click like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos about real estate, making money, and fixing and flipping homes. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.